Hello guys, thank you so much for viewing us and actually listening to us on our podcast. It's Jerry Moya Zungu. It's now the time where we discuss business, we discuss everything marketing, we discuss everything sales, entrepreneurship, and we bring guests to our podcast so that they can share their journey, they can share their stories. Zimbabwe and Africa as a whole, we have brilliant people. We have got people who are doing very well in business. So today I'm joined by my guest, Mr. Billions, Mr. Hillary.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Chartered Vendor Podcast.
Thank you so much.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm excellent. I'm well.
Okay, so you can start by just telling us a bit about yourself. What are you into? Why Mr. Billions? Probably that's what I need to know first.
All right. Okay, let me start with Mr. Billions.
Yeah.
So it was in 2012. I was part 2.
Yeah, okay.
I was year 2 doing financial intelligence at Bindra University.
Yes.
So at church, there's one of my closest friends.
Yeah.
By that time, he was not really that close.
Yeah.
I was starting to know him. His name is Mnyaradzi.
Yeah.
And then he just said to me, "Wakafitwa nemari."
Okay.
So like money.
So he was prophesying.
Yeah. And immediately knowing the power of words,
Yeah, that's true.
I knew that I should accept this name.
Exactly.
So actually it was Mr. Billionaire. That's
Mr. Billionaire.
That's what he called me.
Okay.
That was in 2012. I don't think there was anything close that could really,
show that
even to be called someone who can make money.
Oh, yeah.
But then as I was going, I was answering to that name. And then I think it was in 2016, one of my colleagues at work then shortened it to Mr. Billions.
Okay.
So that's how then I favored more the Mr. Billions.
Okay.
And I answered to that name more than my name, which is Hilary Mushamuiri.
Okay,
yes,
that's great.
Yes,
so Mr. Billions, I know that you're running a company called Wanamari.
Yes, sir.
Do you want, just want you to share with our viewers and our listeners, how did you manage to come up with that company? What was your journey in entrepreneurship? What did you learn in school? And where you are right now, probably they want to know, they want to be motivated also. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much once again. For me, I had a privilege to start quite early when I was still at varsity.
Yeah.
In 2013, when I was on attachment.
Yeah.
That's when I started my first business.
Serious?
Which is still in existence, called Modern Learning Solutions.
Okay.
So of course I started with internet cafe, and we're doing. I did several things: printing, designing.
Yeah, share with us. They want to know. Yeah, they want to know. Because do you know what the problem is? We've got our young people in school.
Yes.
We've got our kids growing up in ECD primary. They just think that probably you just started with Wanamari.
Yeah.
They don't know the hustles people are facing to be where they are right now. So it's about I want to be Mdiwa. It's about I want to be George Mnengwa. I want to be Rebecca Manford. But they don't know the stress.
Yes,
or for you to be where Mudiwa is today, or for you to be where Mr. Philip Mataranyika is today, Shingim Tasa is today. The journey they've traveled sometimes is very painful.
It is.
So the reason why we've got this podcast is to say, kindly share a bit about what was the struggle. Internet cafe. Tell us about that business.
One of my mentors, his name is Ethan Moyo.
Okay.
He said to me, most people, they want to learn the success.
Yeah.
But they forget to learn the scars and pains.
100%
of the journey.
That's profound.
Yeah. So most people, when they want to start a business, they're mostly looking at the success part of it. So they're not studying how companies fail, which could actually ultimately make you successful.
Exactly.
Because you're learning the failures that others went through along the journey. So for me, I remember one of the painful struggles I had. I had a friend of mine who I was working with. Mostly I was at school. So I would then, during weekends, that's when I would come to Harare. I was in Ruwa by then.
Yeah.
So when I was at school, I had my friend who was on the ground. So that when there's no money really, you don't have conflicts.
Yeah.
But a little money starts coming in. Then you really see the person, because at the end of the day, it amplifies someone's character. And
the real character.
A real character. Thank you so much for that. And I remember I'd taken a loan.
Yeah.
For me, it was one of the painful experiences. I had taken $500 from a colleague because I started working before I went to university.
Okay.
So during the semester when we are not at school, I'll go back to work. So I had one of the colleagues that I was working with. He lended me $500.
Yeah.
It should be 30% per month. Can you imagine? So I was not able to pay back after a month because of the partnerships that we had. I was at school. I thought things are running and all that. We actually had an order for $2,500. So that $500 was to execute that order.
Exactly.
But nothing was really happening. So the first month went by, the second month, third month. So you can imagine the amount of interest I'd attracted. So when I then went back, and this guy now was like on me, where is my money? You start to lose trust with someone. And I then had to pay back when I went back to work. So the money that I was now working, I think I worked for about 3 months, all of the money was going towards that. So it's one of those painful, experience. And after, some of those experiences I think I didn't learn from that because I had other partnerships, I think 3 or 4, and then they failed again. And then I made up my mind when I met my now wife, when she was my girlfriend.
Yeah.
I made up my mind that for now, I'm going to only do business with my wife. At least if we have conflicts, at the end of the day, we are going to talk.
Exactly, exactly.
So that's what I made up my mind. So most of my pain was mostly on partnerships. Sometimes you differ exactly what you want to do in the business.
Yeah.
Someone is just there for the money. I was content because I actually resigned because I finished my year 4, my college. I think it was around June 2014. So July I went back to work.
Okay.
So one of my friends, this is an interesting one of my friends who I was with in the business, then came to me, said, I was reading this book and I read that if you really want your business to succeed, then you have to be on the ground. Exactly. So I was working at that time. I was working at the same time the business is going on. Yeah. So after work I'll start
Is this after university or is before?
Now it was after
university.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And not yet Wanamari.
Okay.
Because so many things happened before Wanamari.
We need to know about that. That's where the real juicy the story is. We don't want to talk about we're going to talk about the success of Wanamari, what it does. Yeah. But I'm mostly interested on why did you come up with Wanamari? If you're not Shona, you're probably in Ndebele or you're watching us from Zambia. Probably you're Bemba. Wanamari simply means you have to get the money.
Get the money.
Yeah. So we need to know about the struggle because the problem is, you see, on social media, Instagram, Facebook, people are only posting about their successes.
No one posts.
No one posts about today, guys. I'm stressed. I don't have today. Today is the first. Probably you're going to be. It's early March, and you're like, I didn't even pay salaries.
Right.
For last month, for February. People are not going to share those stories.
They will not.
People will share when they've got that Mercedes Benz. People will share when they've actually built new offices.
Exactly.
But we want to know about the defeats.
Yeah. So now, back to the story I was telling you about my friend. So he convinced me. I was easily convinced because I loved the business that I was doing.
Exactly.
So I was ready to be full-time.
Yeah.
So he said, we have to be full-time. We were 3. So one of my friends is a fashion designer. Yeah. So I knew that he couldn't be full-time on the business. Because I knew that...
It was which type of business?
That was still internet cafe.
The still internet cafe. Where was it based?
In Rua.
In Rua, okay.
I still remember Rua Properties.
Rua Properties, okay. I know that place.
Every time I pass by, and I'm always smiling because that's where I came from.
Yeah.
So he then convinced me to leave my job.
Okay.
It's not like he coerced me. The information that he gave me,
he was right.
Yeah. And I just said, okay, I'm going to save my money on a monthly basis up to December. Yeah. And I will not forget the date I left work. Yeah. I just told them I was going to study my master's. And up to now I haven't done it. I haven't done my master's. So I left on the 7th of December 2014.
On that one, what do you say on the guys who lie when they are leaving? Right now, I hope also guys are now lying to you whilst they are leaving your workplaces. Or
all right. At that time, of course, at that point, I believe I'd become so important to the organization where I was.
Exactly.
And to be honest with you, to be where I am, my boss, who was a Chinese, he has a huge part.
You worked with a Chinese guy.
Yeah. He has a huge part to where I am, because with the time that I was working there, I didn't tell him that my passion was to then do business, but I was copying what he was doing. Even when I was at some point I was working in the warehouse. When I'm working with him, in my mind I would say 2 directors are working.
Okay.
That's what I would tell myself.
Yeah.
So I had already built the mentality. Even when I was at school, even if you ask my friends right now, they can tell you, I was telling them that I'm going to build an empire.
Okay.
And even when I started the internet cafe, whenever I would leave during the weekends, I would tell them, I'm building an empire.
Okay.
Yeah, it was funny that time. And it may still be funny because I may not yet be where I am, but I think right now they don't think the same way.
Okay.
About now they can believe, no, this guy was talking about this. So I then left. I became full-time. Yeah. That's when the real struggle started. Because I was living with my brothers. I left my mother's house, and I started living with my brothers. We are 3 in our family, all boys. Okay. And I started living with them. So I didn't want to ask for food from my mother.
From my father.
So even if I didn't have the $5 to put Zesa, I wouldn't tell them. Hey. Because when I then left work, I realized that I was now alone, because the guy who had said he was also going to quit, he never quit. The money that we were supposed to put in the business so that we could scale it, I only came with the money. So I put all the money. So I was left with nothing. There was no salary for next month. So it became something else. But it was an amazing journey for that particular, especially 6 months. But it's always important to learn from those that are doing well. Always studying. I'm a fan of learning. I learn every day. So I just discovered that I could in preschools computers were not that prevalent. So I moved around and I was doing my research. But I was so discouraged by the response from many of the owners. But one client, we had about 19 kids. So my proposal was I would charge $2 per child. So he had 19 kids. So from the 19 kids, I could get $30. So to me, it was a bit too little, because my goal was to pay a rental of $200. So the innovation I was trying to at least pay the rental, because I was now there, but things were not working. Probably I was making $5 on a daily basis, So it was something else. And I said, okay, I'll just go and start. I borrowed 2 computers, one all from my friends, because the internet cafe I had desktops. So I didn't have laptops. You didn't have laptops. So I went with so I was using those 2 laptops during the time, because I would go maybe twice a week. So I would go there and I would deliver, and then after a month, I started going back to all of where I was rejected. Then after a month, I got 10 more clients. So my revenue rose from $30 to around 1 point something. So I duplicated that same model in Mtari. I did that in Shavani. I did that in Mashingo. I did that in Zimre Damafos.
What about your partners? Were you still with them, or they dropped?
Yeah, I now had other partners I had brought.
So you brought other partners.
Along the way, and which was another mistake. And things were going so well. I tell you, I think it was with our age, it was okay with us. But because with partners we have different skills and all that. Sometimes you want to use these skills for something that does not need those skills. At the end of the day, the business kind of went back to zero.
Yeah.
And then when it was like that, people flew. I was left alone.
You left alone.
To rebuild again. So I started rebuilding around 2016, and I was building. I only now had clients like in Shawani.
And you're still doing the same business?
Yes,
schools.
The same schools.
Okay.
2017.
And do you mind share with us what were you doing in schools?
So in schools, basically, we had 2 projects that we were advocating for. Computer literacy from the grassroots. That was back in 2014, 2015. That's what we're advocating. That even though someone is in preschool, they can learn the computer. And kids seems to be actually wiser than
they're better. They can learn better than us. Yeah.
We also did that with actually primary schools and also secondary schools. So our motto was every student a computer.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm as a person, I love technology. So I started when I was working, I would buy computer parts, and I'll build the computer from scratch, and I would resell.
Okay.
Yeah. So I also did that before I started these things about money.
We'll talk about that. Thank you so much. We're going to take a short break. Thank you, Mr. Billions. Thank you, our viewers. Thank you, our listeners. Thank you for lending us your ears and those eyeballs. Thank you so much. We're just having a short break. See you after the break.
Are you an aspiring entrepreneur looking to take your business to new heights? Do you want to learn from Zimbabwe's greatest business leaders? Then mark your calendar for March 16, 2023 and be part of the launch of Jerry Nyazungu's new book, Selling Like a Vendor. The launch will coincide with a sales seminar to help you expand your selling skills. The Chartered Vendor, in conjunction with platinum sponsor ZFM Stereo, is proud to bring you this exciting event. You'll have the opportunity to learn valuable insights from seasoned professionals and connect with like-minded individuals. But that's not all. You'll also get to network with Zimbabwe's greatest business leaders and expand your network. Don't miss out on this chance to take your business to the next level. So, what are you waiting for? Register now and be there on March 16 for an unforgettable experience.
Welcome back to the Chartered Vendor podcast. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for actually lending us your ears and those eyeballs. We really respect you for taking this time to watch this show. Today I'm hanging out with Mr. Hillary. He's called Mr. Billions. That's the name which I love. The CEO of Wanamari, a company he started alone. Right now the company is growing. He has managed to employ many young people, giving a lot of people opportunities. Yes. So before the break, we were talking about our company, our internet cafe, and this business of educating the young ones to use computers. Yeah. And you said you were in Shawan. Tell me more about that.
Yes, I was in Shawan. And one of the things that always amazes me when I'm moving into to probably a new place, mostly is because of business. The first time I went to Mutare is because I was going to start a business.
So you went and stayed in Mutare?
In Mutare, I stayed in Mutare.
Okay.
Around 2015, 2016.
Okay.
Yeah. And the way we actually started in Mutare, it's actually fun because I have a friend of mine who was staying there, and he was complaining, since things are not well.
Things are not well, yeah.
I was telling him, I'm doing something here in Roa. Yeah. You could do that in what?
In Mutare as well, yeah.
So I gave him the tips. I gave him the curriculum. I was open enough. No, you can go ahead and start.
The curriculum, are you the one who actually came up with that curriculum?
So we came up with our own, but of course it was in line with what the ministry requirements. Yeah. So he went. He said, "No, the guys are not responding." I said, "Give them their phone numbers." So he gave me their phone numbers. I called about 2. They said, "Can we have a meeting?"
Yeah.
So I took my bags. I went to Mutare. That day I got 8 clients.
Serious?
The very same day. Of course, so many rejections on that day too.
Yeah.
But I got 8 from that. That's how I stayed there. And we started. And we're actually making 3 times we're making in Rua.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was interesting. But it then, like I said, it fell. And I had to be rebuilding alone now. I decided for now, I'm going to do it alone.
Alone.
Then I see how it goes.
Okay.
But along the way, I've always loved figures.
Yeah.
Even way back.
Yeah.
I've always loved figures because the reason I actually did financial intelligence.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're coming from financial intelligence.
Exactly.
Obviously, figures are for you, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And one of my passions, which I saw because at the time I was starting the business, I could see that many people will struggle for capital. So I could see many who were like me.
Yeah.
Because I moved from banks, like you name them.
Yeah. It's very difficult to
but
get
capital. But I then fell into the hands of the loan sharks. And I can tell you that's the story for many of us.
Tell me more about loan sharks.
Yeah, because you feel like I don't have anywhere to go. Because it's almost impossible to get a loan from a bank.
Especially in Zimbabwe.
Yes, it is. And also getting from microfinance is not as easy as it seems. Right now, if I'm to advertise that we give loans, that could be a queue.
Exactly. A lot of people can come to you.
So we saw that there were a lot of restrictions in terms of they needed collateral, so many things that was needed. So I wanted to build a platform that could, let's call it a little stock exchange.
Exactly.
And that's our passion. We want to build something that startup can actually list on our platform and can actually raise capital. So I knew that one of the things that was a bit difficult before establishing that was not having investors.
Okay.
So I began the journey of building relationships with investors.
Okay.
So what we are doing, we are creating a community of investors.
That's now Wanamari.
That's now Wanamari.
Okay. When was it started?
2018 in October.
2018 October. Okay.
But it's funny how it started. I love God with no reservation.
Yeah.
I go to church.
Yeah.
And it's for me, what guides me is actually the word.
The word.
It's what guides me.
Okay.
There is no business I've started which was not inspired by the word.
Okay.
Wanamari, to be precise, was one of those.
Yeah.
My pastor, who's Reverend Dr. Chris Oyakhilome, I go to Christ Embassy. First of all, he's the one who motivated me to be an owner.
Okay.
So, not necessarily that he says, no, don't work, but he encourages us to be what?
To be entrepreneurs.
To be entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So, in 2018, when we had the crossover program, so he said 2018 was going to be the year of the supernatural.
Yeah.
He said the things that you're going to do in 10 years, you are going to do them this year.
Okay.
So I looked at what I wanted to do in the next 10 years, which was to have a bank.
Okay.
So I do always love the bank.
Yeah.
From way back.
Yeah.
So I said, so I can begin that journey in 2018.
Okay.
So I said, I have to start from somewhere. So I started with the funds, with the little funds I had. I started.
You started a bank.
I started funding, the entrepreneurs that were around me, and I was doing that bit by bit, and up to now, in 2023, we are here, and we are still funding. We also, give opportunities for anyone to invest within their means. Also, they can save while earning. So as we were going, we were just refining what we were doing.
Okay.
And of course, it has its own challenges.
Yeah,
because you look at it's a world full of thieves.
Yeah.
People have been crooked. Crypto is here, forex trading is
that's
here.
true.
So it's one of the major challenges.
And you're also selling your own, so it's very difficult.
And then you're selling your own. But one of the key things, even our investors can attest to this, is that we have been building trust.
Okay.
And the people that we started with, our investors, when we started, we still have those investors.
Okay.
They are still investing even more large amounts of money, and they have brought even more people.
So if I want to invest into Wanamari,
yes,
what do I do? Probably for the guys who've got some spare $100, it's probably they've got 1,000. I don't know how much you need, but probably sometimes you've got a reserve, you're a vendor. As we are vendors, probably unekamari kari pasi pembedha and you're thinking I can also put into Wanamari and get an interest. How does one become an investor?
All right, so you simply your money is what just makes you an investor.
An investor, okay.
Because we don't have a complicated process for one to invest. So you can start with $20.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even my fellow vendors in Mbare,
yes, you can.
You guys who are in Pompoma, in Sakuva, in Dulibadzimu, you can hear that. You can also invest into Wanamari.
Yes. So, and then you can earn up to 12% on a monthly basis. Also, sometimes we have promotions here and there.
Okay.
But at most, you can earn 12% on a monthly basis.
12% of your investment. So the more you invest, obviously, the more you earn.
Yes, and also it depends on the time.
The time,
If you invest for 6 months, it's a little bit lower. It's about 8%.
Okay.
For 9 months, that's about 10%. For 12 months, that's about 12% on a monthly basis.
That's great.
And you can be withdrawing your monthly dividends.
Okay.
You don't have to wait for the whole year to pass.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can be withdrawing on a monthly basis. We have several products even for savings, like the vendors.
Yeah.
They could have something an account like that is called a business port account.
Okay.
So with the business port account, you can withdraw twice a year. Maybe you want to scale your
business. Yeah.
So you can be putting on a monthly basis at least $50, at least $50. While it's also appreciating. And then you can withdraw twice a month. So it's a reserve for you. When the rainy day, which mostly comes, when it comes,
you can just withdraw your money. That's great. So with Wanamari, the vision is to say I can invest my money. What about those who want to access like what capital. You're saying? We have been saying that in Africa it's very difficult to get a loan, and in Zimbabwe it's even impossible. I think it's even easy for a camel to enter the hole of a needle than to get a loan in Zimbabwe. Especially if you don't have an asset.
Yes.
And an asset, I mean a house with title deeds.
Yeah, that's right.
I should remember when I got my overdraft. The papers I signed, it was as if I want a gun license. Because they will make you sign everything and they will take your deeds. And the amount of your money which you want to get, it doesn't even buy a car. And you're like, this is how entrepreneurs in Zimbabwe are surviving. And I respect to everyone who is doing business in Zimbabwe. It's not easy, but not only for those who are doing business. And for all those who are, I recognize all those people who are also growing the businesses. Those who are working in those businesses, it's not going to be an easy journey. Okay, fine. You were talking about partnerships. I suppose we want to educate our young guys, want to educate someone who is in primary, someone who is in secondary. What do you say to someone who wants to enter into a partnership now, especially probably with a friend or with a relative? What do you say?
No, thank you so much for that. Just before I answer that question, I just wanted to mention something that you're talking about capital. One of the core pillars of Wanamari is financing startups, and we want to build an equity village, an equity hub, where when you think about capital,
you think of Wanamari.
When it comes to startups, that's our thrust. So what we are building now is the community of investors. But at the same time, someone can access capital without collateral. We know how we can assess you, because when you are fishing, if you put your net, it's not all fish that you're going to catch.
That's true.
So that's the reason for the assessment. So someone who's coming in the name of taking a loan for a business may not be doing that for a business. So that's why we have to assess.
They want to buy their sofas.
Exactly. But now back to your question. When it comes to partnerships, one of the things that Mr. Mnengwa told me, who is also my mentor.
Shout out to Boss George.
Yes, shout out to my boss, Mr. Mnengwa.
The billionaire.
The billionaire. Yes. So one of the things that he told me is that it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Mostly because when you may not have the same mind, especially if this business that you want to do is the only
source of income. Yeah.
So all eyes are on this business.
That's profound.
But if
Someone
I'm coming from Wanamari, I have
Jerry is coming from M&J, then we say let us start something out there.
It's better that way.
It's better because we are not depending on that.
We are not depending on that. So it depends on the circumstance. So when it's all about
money.
So I actually had a scenario. Someone wanted to do a certain business, and then he wanted capital. I gave him the capital. But I said I also want equity.
Equity, yeah.
So I got equity.
But he's running that business.
But for him, it was the business. For me, it was not the business.
So it's like if $100 is deposited in the account, he's expecting to get his 50.
Exactly.
Because he's saying, guys, I need to buy tomatoes. I need to pay my rentals.
So you know what I told him? I said, I want you to do the financials. I'm just going to be seeing how it's going. Because that was my way of looking at how trustworthy someone is with finances. Then I saw that he was not trustworthy, because that was the only thing that he was depending on.
So I started taking money.
Things like that. So it's difficult, because this person is more hungry when it comes to this business than probably you are when it comes to the money. Because that's the only money that he is seeing.
Yeah. I get what you mean.
So he can even suffocate the business because he's taking maybe
money.
we have to maybe grow the business for maybe 2 years without really even paying ourselves.
Yeah, that's true. Because when it's a startup, sometimes you can go for 5 years without getting anything.
That's very normal.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from.
That's very normal. You can go in that time without maybe probably you really benefiting financially from that
business.
Yeah, you can have an allowance,
there
is allowing you to pay rent and things like that. But it may not be sufficient enough to then maybe have your Ferrari or things like that. Because that's what our generation mostly is thinking about.
Yeah. So I think you guys have heard that the partnership is a no, according to Mr. Billionaire. I think you highlighted something which is profound, because even the partnerships which I am in right now, it's my partner is also earning his income, main income from another job.
Wow.
I'm also doing whatever I'm doing. Then we just partner in a small business, and it's working perfectly.
Yeah, that one
because no one is hungry for that money. Yeah, I think you're very right on that one. I also learned a lot. I'm learning a lot from this interview. So we're going to take another short break. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next episode. Welcome back, guys. I'm hanging out with Mr. Billions. I'm learning a lot. I think you have heard about partnerships. You have heard about his journey, how he started his businesses. And he said partnerships were the most difficult things which he faced in business. But Mr. Billions, I want to ask you, which are the challenges you faced, or which you're actually facing as an entrepreneur? And you can say probably one person would want to know, to say, I think when I'm getting into business, I'm going to expect this, this, and this.
All right. Thank you so much. I love challenges.
Yeah.
Because there is no promotion without a challenge.
That's true.
So one of the challenges, I'm still young.
Yeah.
I'm very young. And it can be difficult, for people to accept that you can actually do big things.
That's true.
But I like that because I like to surprise people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to surprise people. So that is a huge challenge, because you're getting into an office, you are facing maybe a 65-year-old.
And someone
you
is
are
saying,
explaining to him,
dude.
and he's like, I mean, look at you.
Look at you, you're young.
So that's one of the challenges.
Yeah.
And even to the to our elders, the elder guys, not every young person is not serious.
That's true.
Not
I have a lot of young, brilliant people. I can say that again.
Yeah.
I prefer working with young people than old people.
Yes.
Yeah.
So not every young person is not serious. Some of us we are really serious.
Yeah.
You look at we look at even those that I look at Dr. Nigel Chenakiri.
Yeah.
I mean, at 28 he had a bank.
That's true.
So it means if he could do it, Mr. Billions can do it.
Can also do it, yeah.
We are looking at many people who started thriving, businesses. The banks that right now that we see in Zimbabwe are local banks.
That's true.
They were not started by people who were, in their 60s and their 70s.
Young people.
They were young people. We go anywhere. We look at the biggest companies. When Apple started, he was very young.
Very young.
So young people, we are the people.
That's true.
So, so these opportunities should be available to us. When I knock in on a door, it shouldn't be like, this young man, So it's one of the challenges that personally I face. But like I said, I like to surprise people, and the other challenge probably is in having a robust team.
Yeah,
that one is a challenge. Recruiting, it's a challenge. It's a challenge in leading them. Oh my God.
I think in my book, The Child of End, I've talked about the difficulty of recruiting employees. What challenges are you also facing on that aspect? I was going to ask that because I know that when every entrepreneur is like, there's a challenge of getting the right people. You've got a vision, you've got a big vision, but sometimes to get that person who can drive that vision is very difficult. What do you want to say about what are the challenges, especially on the recruitment side? Yeah.
The challenge is that not many people in life are serious.
Yeah.
That's the problem. They don't know themselves first.
That's true. I agree.
So if I'm going to work with someone like that, it's going to be a challenge.
That's true.
But probably an interview may not be sufficient for me to
unmask that.
Because someone can pretend.
They can act.
They can act. People can
They're
act
good. They can
well.
rehearse and information about interviews all over the internet.
You see,
it was probably during our days. It was very difficult to get that information. Nowadays, you can get a whole video showing you about how you can nail an interview. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
So that one is
and there are actually people who are coaching people to do interviews.
They're there. So it's a huge challenge, because when people are not, then if you are going to get maybe out of 10, it's likely that you can get many of them that are not serious.
They're not serious, exactly.
So the screening. So from time to time, out of 10, you have to get one good one. You stay with them.
Then next time you get one again.
But there's a kind of suffering that that is going on.
I always say if I get one good person in a year, to me it's a successful. Only one good recruitment.
That's very true.
It's a success.
That's very true. So that's of course one of them, the major challenges. But we also, some of the things that, when we are, when you're networking, there are people that you are, having relations with. At those times you also can, identify the people that you can actually recruit into your team. But for me, the people that I've really stayed with, they came because they wanted to learn.
Okay. They didn't want to earn. They were not targeting earning, they were targeting learning. Yeah.
They said, if you just give me a laptop and transport fare, I'm okay.
I'm looking for those people.
You're looking for them?
Yeah, because they're very difficult to find. Many people who are coming into a business, they want to mop it up. They want money.
It's very true.
And sometimes they don't understand where you're actually coming from and what you want to achieve. Okay, what about on this? I have wrote a book which is called Selling Like a Vendor.
Wow.
And I wanted to know, how do you say sales? You've talked about going to Mtare, you closed 8 deals after a lot of rejections, and I understand that sales, it's a game of rejection.
Yes.
How do you say sales contribute to be where you are right now?
Without sales, there's no life.
Yeah.
Why? Because whichever department depends on sales. Because business is about money.
Exactly.
Yeah, we may nice when we are advertising and things like that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we want
need
your
dollars.
Money.
Yeah.
It's your money that we want.
That's true.
So if the money is not coming, if sales is not functional,
yeah,
then the company is dead. There's no business.
That's true.
I love this other guy who's on the Shark Tank.
Kevin O'Leary.
No.
Okay.
The other one, Mr. He calls himself Mr. Wonderful.
Mr. Wonderful.
His name, I forgot his name.
Okay.
But he says if your business goes 3 years, you're not making money, it's not a business.
Yeah.
But what drives that?
Exactly.
Is the sales.
Is the sales. Because without sales, you can have a good product, but if you don't have sales, you can have a good service, but if you don't have the sales, you're wasting your time.
Then you're wasting your time. So many people, we neglect that area, and yet we want our business to grow, to have more revenue.
Yeah.
So you cannot have revenue without sales. So if we don't prioritize sales, then we are not prioritizing the business, because that is the actual engine
of the business.
I know, those in finance are saying, no, we are the real deal. You are not the real deal.
Yeah.
If the money is not there.
The money is not there. Because I think when you're starting our business, you only think about getting an accountant whilst there are no sales.
If the company is not performing,
why do you need an accountant?
If there's no money that is coming,
yeah,
the CEO will be fired.
Exactly.
So it depends on the sales.
On the sales.
So that's why I love following you.
Thank you so much.
I love your book.
Thank you so much.
The content that you put out, the more we take it serious,
exactly,
the more we sell. So I believe so much that if we put, we take that as serious as possible. I remember, you offered, we are having a training with your team.
Yeah.
I didn't say that only a few.
Yeah.
Maybe the marketing and sales. No, everyone.
You're supposed to be part. You're supposed to understand how you can get money. Because the issue is about, people that mainly like a human being doesn't want to be rejected. A human being. That's why people hate sales. And the culture of sales in this country, it's not where it's supposed to be, and on this continent. And I strongly believe that Americans are where they are right now because of sales.
That's very true.
So, thank you so much. But I wanted also to ask, like, even for my fellow young entrepreneurs who are out there, and the people who also want to get into business, and those who are also working in other businesses, what do you want to say to them? Look, probably there's someone who is losing hope. There's someone who is saying Zimbabwe is a difficult country to work in. Someone is also saying politics. I'm waiting for a certain minister, certain MP to come in. I have read a lot of narrative. People are saying, this is a year of election. What do you want to say to those guys? Yeah?
I would say, first of all, there are those that want to give up. Life is not about yourself.
Exactly.
Life is about others. So the moment I don't live for me.
It's profound, yeah?
If I live for me, I will not make impact.
That's true.
So you find that most of the people that have actually made it, it's not because it was not necessarily about them. So you make it in business because the agenda is bigger than you. The agenda is for many. So the moment you think about what was supposed to be benefited
from the business,
from the people,
from
your business,
then
you can persevere. So that's my thinking. If I had times that I thought I want to quit, probably that thought, the moment I see that thought is coming, then I just shoot it.
Okay.
Because now the conviction for me is that it's not about me.
Okay.
It's about me. Like right now, if things are tough right now, there's someone I've helped to build a house when they were saving.
Okay.
So how many more
am I going to help?
So think more about others than yourself. Then you can, because when you want to quit, it's about you.
Well, when you want to
it's
quit,
about
it's
you
about
because
me.
it's tough. Yes, it is tough. And that's the gap between the successful and the not successful. Because the successful persevere to the last. So that is what is important. And the environment really is not a major factor when it comes to doing business. Because there are many businesses that we started in recession. The thriving businesses right now, they were started in recession. Actually, in COVID, there were businesses that, I think we had many billionaires that came from COVID.
100%.
So,
mass vaccines.
Yeah.
But vaccines, I think it's a $1 billion industry.
It is.
Yeah.
And there's something that my pastor says. An alligator in Zimbabwe can never become a lion in America.
100%.
So it is the environment.
Yeah.
It's not about the environment. It's about your own environment that you carry. That's why
profound.
Personal development, upgrading yourself. There are several things, of course, that you do. But there's someone right now, they might be thinking about the elections, but it's not. Maybe they are thinking of how they can thrive on that. Not necessarily
how
they're
afraid.
Yeah. So let's go for it. And the more we have many entrepreneurs, the better our economy. Because imagine if I'm building a building this corner, another entrepreneur is building this corner.
That's true.
Because we have to understand that the roads and the buildings is not necessarily the government that have to just do that.
We're also supposed to
also have
that.
a part because we are citizens.
Exactly.
And we are so blessed in our nation. You can open your company tomorrow.
Exactly.
Without thinking that the restriction on that, and you can start your business.
Exactly.
You can start operating.
Yeah.
So to my fellow young entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
No, there's no time to give up, guys.
Okay.
Let's build this Zim to become a hub. Let's have Silicon Valley in Zimbabwe.
That's true.
It's possible. Because if they could do it, imagine Dubai was a desert.
Yeah.
But right now, look at where it is.
But us, we've got all the resources.
We have
diamonds, we've got gold.
So let's stop complaining.
Good weather.
Yeah. We have everything.
But we complain a lot.
We complain.
Because we are waiting for the government to do it for us. It was wonderful. So, for the parting shot, what do you want to say to anyone? What's the future of Wanamari? Why do you think people must invest into it? And probably just to motivate other people out there, your last words just for the parting shots. And
thank you so much. For Wanamari, first of all, I would like to thank our investors because without them, we would not be where we are today. Like I said before, our passion is to help entrepreneurs access capital. That's our major passion, and we cannot do this alone. And imagine we raise capital. When there's a funeral, we contribute what is called chema.
Exactly.
When there was cyclone in Dai, crowdfunding was done for cyclone.
That's true.
When disasters happen, so should we wait for a disaster?
We wait for a disaster to make contributions.
So I've heard many people have said that crowdfunding doesn't work in Zimbabwe. No, it works. But our attention is we are not focusing on something that is important that could actually build our country.
That's true.
Imagine right now if Madam Boss posts that this other person she wants to have a heart transplant. How many people will contribute?
They'll contribute. Go fund what?
Yeah. But if someone says I want to start a business,
no one will contribute.
See that. So that's why I said we have to stop looking only at ourselves. Then things can work. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my man. Thank you, Mr. So Billions. It was nice having you. Thank you, our listeners. Thank you, our followers. Thank you, our viewers. So remember, you have to subscribe on our YouTube channel. You also have to follow us on our Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. We are also available on our podcast. So thank you so much. Until next time, it's Jerry Moya Zungu out.